Last June 2015, Cherry Mobile was in Computex event in Taipei to showcase not only its new devices, but also the initial devices that are equipped with Windows 10 Mobile, which are the Alpha Prime devices. The lineup has two devices under its shed, the Alpha Prime 4 and the Prime 5. Both are very identical with each other in terms of specifications, but with the Prime 5, obviously, just a bit above the numbers than the Prime 4. And after more than a year, these devices are now finally available in the market. What we are taking a look now is the Cherry Mobile Alpha Prime 5. For only 3,999 pesos. Is finally jumping to Windows really worth taking the risk? That's what we are about to figure out. It is seldom that we see a visually appealing device at this price range. With the price this low, companies are forced to compromise in a lot of areas to minimize cost. The Alpha Prime 5 isn't made with top-notch materials. There are no fancy metal or glass that are incorporated on the device's construction, as they're only limited with the use of cheap plastic. But the thing is, there's something about this device that makes it looks very much okay. The Alpha Prime 5, just like any other Windows phone, has a refreshing look. These devices always separates themselves from the crowd. Its curvaceous nature and some design accents makes it up for its use of second-rate materials. The rounded corners and the back sides of the device did not only make it attractive, but it also boosts the ergonomics when holding the device, something that we cannot achieve on devices that has sharp profile, say the Cherry Mobile Flare S4 Plus. The device is also relatively lightweight, but not the lightest of all. The right side has the volume controls and the lock and power switch. These buttons aren't the most tactile of them all, but still satisfying enough to press, without the flimsy, wobbly feeling. At the front we have the 5-inch HD IPS display, which has a 720 by 1280 resolution and has 294 pixels per inch. Quality-wise, colors are lame, contrast is also not the best of all. Sharpness is something to be expected on a 720p device. Details aren't clearly visible until you zoomed all the way in. Although one big flaw that I have seen is the large screen bleeding at the sides of the display, which isn't really visible unless it is displaying a pitch black scenario. The display isn't the best, but it really is the best you can get on this price tag. To entirely cover the entertainment department, the display is also partnered with a pretty decent loudspeakers. Not the loudest of all, but loud enough to be useful in a tiny room, or having it playing in the background while you're chilling in the living room. Below the display, we got the capacitive buttons. The arrangement of these buttons are not too different from the layout that Android has. Cherry Mobile towed in a Qualcomm Snapdragon 210 processor on this thing. The 1.1 GHz quad-core processor with only 1GB of RAM and an Adreno 304 GPU delivers expected results. Everything feels choppy and bogged down. Browsing through the drop-down menu, app drawer, and almost anywhere in the interface has some noticeable stutters. It is unclear whether it is the software's fault or the processor itself, considering that Windows 10 is still a bit unripe. Same goes with gameplay. Demanding titles like the Asphalt 8 Airborne shows a lot of frame drops, and the graphics looks nasty. However, casual games like Cut the Rope and Fail Hard run relatively well, as it can barely expose the processor's flaws. The 1GB of RAM also exhibits its weakness evidently. Switching between applications aren't seamless, and doesn't even meet the lowest of standards that I have set for this device. The Windows 10 on desktop is probably the best Microsoft has offered in a long time. It is aesthetically beautiful and functional, a trimmed down Windows 8, leaving only the essentials. The mobile version takes away a lot of its characteristics, a touch-friendly adaptation. Everything is now Android-like, which is a good thing rather than bad. Things are now easier to access, toggle, and control. But Windows 10 is still far from perfect, and quite possibly not enough reasons for any Android lover to switch over. The long-standing issue of people with Windows Mobile is the negligible number of available applications when compared to Android and even iOS. But Windows is trying to cope up slowly, or at least Facebook is trying to help them because of the release of a dedicated and improved Facebook and Messenger app, and a better version of Instagram, which actually works really well considering that it is in its early stages. But still, today's trendy apps like Snapchat, top caliber game titles, and even a real YouTube app is still nowhere to be found. We have an 8MP primary camera with LED flash on this thing. With such cheap price tag, you can expect that the camera can produce uninspiring photo quality. Sharpness is really failing. It seems like subjects are misfocused, but they are not. Everything just looks soft on this thing. There are a lot of noise, even in scenarios with good lighting. Color reproduction is also lame, and the dynamic range is terrible. Dark areas can go pitch black, while the bright ones can go completely overblown. You can also record 720p videos, but the quality is exactly the same with the stills. The 2MP front-facing camera can also take decent selfies, but you don't want to go trigger happy on doing so. You can do Skype calls on low light scenarios, and not worrying about the person on the other side not seeing your face. Popping out the back reveals the 2100mAh battery. Battery longevity have been decent. This thing can surely last you a full day with casual web browsing and sending or receiving SMS. But you really do have to recharge it every night. While screen on time passed our 4-hour passing mark. That is hours of gaming and streaming videos online. We also have the 2 micro SIM card slots in here, which can both accommodate 4G capable SIM cards. So there you have it, the Cherry Mobile Alpha Prime 5. This device is clearly not the best option for its price tag, but I still see people considering this one. But these people aren't the standard consumers. These are the people who are die-hard Windows fan. People who love not only the software's brand, but also everything that only Microsoft can offer. The Alpha Prime 5, together with the Prime 4, are the cheapest Windows 10 devices that you can get today. But if the operating system doesn't really matter, there are tons of Android alternatives that can justify the money you'll be paying. But at the end of the day, it will still go down to what you need the most. If your blood runs on Windows culture, the Alpha Prime 5 is worth checking out. This has been Noipy Geek's full review of the Cherry Mobile Alpha Prime 5. For a more detailed look about this device, make sure to check out the full written review link below. You can also hit the thumbs up button and share this video if you liked it, and also subscribe if you still haven't. Thank you for watching.